It's been so exciting because I actually went to USF before this and I wanted to be involved on campus. And I remember going to my professor at USF and asking how do I get more involved on campus, and he redirected me to STC, which is in Orlando. So coming to UCF was a huge decision, but I'm so happy that I did it because now I'm part of FTC and they have so many cool meetings and opportunities as well. And I'm in STC now as well. Been a bookworm and I've always loved reading and writing. I did do healthcare for a little bit, so I was a CNA working at a hospital. Um, and I guess I just decided to kind of like follow what I was passionate about and what I really wanted to do, which is like helping people and making lives easier through technical documentation. I've always been a person that just like really loved to like read and write. So now I'm back at UCF in technical communications, and I do have a little bit of experience. I received an internship and then a position at this security staffing company to write their SOPs for the buildings that they staff. Well, I was just trying to explore um all of my opportunities basically. And the internship was one of the ways that I accomplished it by getting experience in technical writing. But I also wanted to just learn more about like the culture and what actually goes in technical communication and like what people are saying within the career, you know. So I thought that going to this summit would answer all those questions that I had.
What brought me to UCF? I came here as a transfer student. I did it for convenience, and I also did it because I knew it was a good school as well. I originally attended the Lake Sumter State College in Leesburg, but they also have campuses at Sumterville and Claremont, and now they have one at Cagan Crossings, uh, which I believe is just Cagan Crossings. The Claremont campus is called South Lake. Uh, but uh, I decided to do their transfer program, which allows for state colleges to participate in transferring students from the state college to a university system so that they can get their bachelor's. So that's what I decided to do. And I decided that I didn't want to pursue information technology anymore, that I wanted to pursue engineering, but I also wanted to do some English classes as well. But I was uncertain about how I wanted to do that because English does not produce revenue. English studies usually does not, but technical communication, though, was something that really sparked my interest, and that's why I decided to take classes in that. So right now, my journey through this is somewhat limited because I have not done enough projects outside of the classes, but I have definitely discussed with many industry leaders and especially uh, talking with those in my engineering community. It seems to me that it's a very interesting perspective to see because a lot of engineers are not interested in technical writing. And one of the things that I've tried to do is to close that gap just as much as I can, really. But that's going to be uh, something that will have to take a long time. And if it may be possible, it may not be possible. Or what brought me to FTC and STC? I was told about it from a friend at Cypress Dome. Her name is Nyana Jeffcoat. She was an editor there at the year that I was also part of the Cypress Dome team. And frankly, I've loved doing or loved being a part of them. I've had great times with the social events. I've had great discussions about technical writing and especially with artificial intelligence because I know that that has been a very crucial topic of discussion. But I know that we will be all right, uh, despite the concerns of artificial intelligence perhaps changing the workplace as we know it?
I live like an hour away, so when I was doing like my college selection, it was a desirable choice. So it was just one of the places that I toured, one of the places that I got into, and it just always felt like a very like welcoming, like nice place to be. So I just liked it. How I got involved with FTC, STC. I was talking to Dean Sheila last year, and I was like, hey, like obviously I like my major and I like what I'm doing, but I also am really passionate about like communication and science communication and writing. I was like, it's something I love and I don't want to give it up. And she was like, you should talk to John. And she gave me his information and was like, he'll tell you everything about technical communication. So we had the Zoom call, I think it was like last winter, I think. I don't know. And he just told me like, okay, like this is what we are, this is what we do. And I was like, honestly, that sounds great. So then I started signing up for classes and I joined it as a minor. And then I went to Summit and I was like, this is great.
Yeah. Uh, what brought me to UCF was its strong technical communication program and range of faculty who have made a wealth of research within our discipline. And I was really looking forward to learning from them as soon as I applied. Yeah, I was first introduced to FTC by Dr. Sonia Stevens when I was in my first semester at UCF, and that's where I joined the first general body meeting of the year. And from there, I got to join the communications team and be a part of leadership.
And being president.
Yeah, it was a great time. And yeah, I really appreciated the opportunity. And I really love everything that's happening this year. Chantal and Cassandra, you both have done an amazing job. And yeah, so happy to see our club events going strong. Honestly, I've had a blast ever since. And so far, my technical communication journey has been filled with a lot of adventure and a lot of collaboration and fun. And through both FTC and STC Florida, I've had the opportunity to uh, to support both communities, host educational events and club programs, and learn more about tech comm as an interdisciplinary field.
So I came to UCF mostly because of the Direct Connect program in high school. So it was kind of do your 2 years and then go straight to UCF. So that's what I did. And it was also the closest college to me that had a technical communication program. I think the next closest one is like USF or something. And the technical communication program here, I found the courses to be a bit better. So for FTC, I found out about the club when I was researching the technical communication program here because I wanted to see kind of what it was like outside the courses itself. And obviously FTC popped up. And then in my first semester at UCF, I took the literature of science and technology with Dr. Applin, and he was always posting announcements about it. So that's kind of how I actually joined the club. And I also joined STC as a student member, and I'm in the mentorship mentee program. My mentor is Jessica, and it's been really helpful with both clubs. I've gotten a lot of opportunities from.
I've heard of technical writing early in my undergrad, but I didn't realize I didn't really realize like the nature of what technical writers do because I only ever heard of it because a friend of a friend had a dad who wrote who had we had dinner and he's like, oh yeah, I used to write, I used to write aircraft manuals for the Air Force. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool, but I don't know how planes work, so that's not going to work. Flash forward years later, I was a radio TV major for a while and decided that wasn't really my thing. And I started looking around and gradually found the writing and rhetoric undergrad program here. And I don't even know exactly when it was, but over the course of my time in that program, I kind of became aware of like what technical writing is and kind of how it's more than just, doing the writing engineers don't want to do now, right? How it's like, it's much more like holistic discipline. There's kind of a lot of things we're trying to juggle and do as technical writers. And over time, I went, oh wow, this could be a really cool fit. And yeah, so when I found out there was a technical communication program at UCF, I was like, oh, this is perfect. Especially like Dominic said, or someone said, there not being like a ton of them currently in the US. So it was really nice it was really convenient that there was one here already and a great one here. So I was very briefly involved with FTC a few years back. Then unfortunately I had to step back to deal with some other stuff. But yeah, looking forward to getting more involved this semester. Haven't been able to be as involved as I wanted to, but looking forward to getting to know you all better, especially as we do the summit trip. That'll be cool.
I didn't know much about TechCom when I first started since like digital media and stuff. Mine honestly came more from like a fear of writing. Like in my major, I was like, nothing's covering like the writing and stuff, like the professional writing and like business writing and stuff. And that was like something that made me like really worried and like started looking into like find something to supplement it. And then that's when I found tech writing and I'm like, this is exactly what I wanted. This is like what I need. And like it fits the goals, it fits like what I want to like have as like a skill set underneath like my degree itself and everything. So I see it as like something that's helping me alongside like my major. So I joined, I think the Discord that Dr. Glasshoff like blasted like during the classes like beginning of the year, I think fall 2021. I didn't start to get active until that following spring with the I think Otronicon. That's when I actually started like participating and being like a member. And I remember like starting to talk to like John, like Zach, and like all those people, which I feel like people don't know who they are at this point. But they were like super nice and welcoming and stuff, and like getting me involved. And then like I slowly transitioned into like I think a leadership role that following fall as treasurer, and then like I've been like VP since after a while. But it's been great. And then with like STC and stuff, like being a student member this for the summit was when I started getting involved with that. And like Bethany's great though, meeting her and stuff as well. It's been fun.
I feel like I'm honestly kind of late into the game. This is only my second semester taking technical communication classes. I came from a 2-year university, so I didn't really have to think about a major. And one day I was on TikTok, unfortunately, and I saw a video of like it's like tech professions that no one really knows about. And that's how I found technical communication. And I really fell in love with it because I felt like I could take my love for planes and writing and put them together. I'm a commuter, so I really didn't know anyone on campus, and none of my friends go to UCF. So I really wanted to meet new people, and I just went on the club's directory and started looking through them, and I found FTC. I was like, this is cool. Like I can meet people and people that actually like, my major and want to have like the same goals. So I thought it was fun. Experiences, I think it's amazing how many opportunities we get from like talking to STC members and internships. So yeah, and Summit. So things like that. It's been really fun.
Yeah, I've always loved to write, but I originally came to UCF with a different major. But this summer after my freshman year, I knew I wanted to switch majors. I just didn't know what exactly I wanted to do. So one day I was Googling jobs you can do with an English degree, trying to see what was out there, and I came across technical writing. I had never heard of it. And the first time I looked it up, I just assumed, oh, you have, like Henry, you have to be an expert at XYZ already. But the more I looked into it, the more I realized it was something I could do and I had a lot of interest in. So that fall, I took some introductory classes and I joined FTC. And since that point, I've really fallen in love with it. Yeah, I originally joined FTC in fall 2022 because I was thinking about technical communication as a career and I thought FTC would give me more information and help me see if it was something I truly wanted to go into. And I'm very glad I joined because it turned out that it was something I did very much want to get into. So I've been pretty active ever since I joined the communications committee that fall. And I've been in leadership since that time. STC wise, I joined that November, I believe it was, as part of the mentoring program. And then I went to Summit last year, and I've been to STC meetings since and all of that. And yeah, I love both clubs, both organizations. I think they really help.
So specifically with TechCom as I knew it, I would say it started back in 2022 when I first discovered it after I switched from biology. And after I signed up for my first classes in the major, shortly afterwards, I discovered FTC. And after that, it was just I it was a slow crawl immediately to rocketing to the moon. I it was yeah, my TechCom journey has been rather short so far because really not even 2 years ago I started doing this, and yet I've already done a ton. So you could say uh fast and furious, I guess. I first discovered FTC on, I think it was a Zoom call that Dr. Applin held one time. Something like that. I can't remember anymore. But all I know is that it seemed like a big, really skill-driven and academics-driven club. And I thought, okay, well, as long as I'm learning new skills, I might as well join something that can be a little more remunerative. So I joined, and they needed officers, and I had just met you, John, at some point around there, and I saw the secretary position was open, and I did not expect to get it, but I signed up anyway. As like I emailed Dr. Applin, I guess, and before I knew it, I had it. And I was like, okay, I'm a secretary now, and and from there, the rest is history. After that, the following semester, I got a little more involved in that. I joined the communications committee, and a little later, the publications committee. Um, and everyone was so great. You, John, Joy. I met you and Cassandra in person for the first time at the Bahama Breeze, and it was a really good time. And it made me feel more welcome. And so I started joining, more in-person stuff. And then of course I met Joy and then you, Chantal, and everybody else. And that's when I got more involved, writing newsletters, especially creating graphics. I've always been someone who's also into art. I've been drawing characters and things all my life. So I thought, okay, I can put my art skills to use here. Graphic design skills, I guess. And so I started doing that for the newsletters as well. And I really felt like I was more of a part of something. And after that, we did the summit and I met more people. And it's just been a great time ever since. And as far as STC goes, I first became a member of that when we first went to last year's summit. And when I met Bethany, and shortly after I became part of the mentorship program, and I was the mentee for Rachel Swartfager. So I've been quite involved. I'd like to be a little more involved, but I've done quite a lot so far, and I can't imagine it any differently.